Now, by default, there is no add new contact. You will not see a menu over on the left to get to being able to add a contact. And the reason is because we want you to make sure that a contact actually exists before you go adding them a second time. So what we've done to try to help eliminate some of the duplicate customers is we've added the add new contact control to the locate screen. So what we're hoping is that I would go in here and, for example, type Smith and Tim as an example. And let's say the customer I'm looking for is not in this list. These are two different people. And you'll also notice here there's a drop down arrow that'll actually allow me to open up information about that particular customer so that I can see their address and time zone and other relevant information about them. So it kind of helps me to make sure that that's not the customer I'm looking for without having to actually select them. These are not the customer that we're after. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this add new customer button up here at the top. So it basically allows us to add the customer just as easily as you could before, but we're just hoping by having it here on the locate screen that you'll do it after you try to locate the customer. Now, if I were to type in somebody that doesn't exist, you'll notice that my list has gone blank down here at the bottom, and now I have an additional button down here to add a new contact. So it kind of gives me two different ways of getting that customer added. Now, to add the customer, we're just going to select either of the two buttons, and the system will open up a control for me to add that customer to the system. Now, some of the things that we have here are the position of the customer. If they happen to be a business and this is a sales rep that I'm talking to, I can put that information in. Whether or not we have an account number for them, whether they're a private contact. Maybe I don't want all of my employees to be able to look at my bank correspondence and my bank information. I can set that customer up as a private customer, and then no one will be able to look at that record or view the correspondence or do anything with them except for people that are allowed to view private records. Whether they have a preferred name, for example, this guy, let's say that his name is Tim Smith, but he prefers to be called Bo. So I have the ability to do things like that. Also business name, whether they're male or female, address, city, state, zip. Now, while I'm here, I want to mention the city, state, zip stuff. By default, we have put in almost pretty much all of the city, states, and zips for the United States. If you need to add another country that's not in your list, you hit the plus sign here, select the customer, select the label type that you want to have show up for the postal codes, and save it. And that will add an additional country. If you want to add an additional state, then you click the plus sign to add the state. But there is absolutely no condition in the United States where you should ever go in and add a new state, because all the states are already here. For some reason, we do have customers that will continuously go in and create multiple states for the same thing that's already in the system, and I don't know why they do that. The process that you should go through when trying to put in a city, state, and zip is to put the zip code in. So if I go in and start typing in 30233 as an example, it brings up a list here that I can select from. If I don't see the information that I'm looking for, then I can tell it to add the location, and that will actually bring up the city, state, zip control for me to actually create a new city, state, zip for this new place that I'm actually putting into the system. So don't go click the new state thing unless you're working with another country. It just causes more problems than it's worth, because we end up having to go in and clean things up for you. And I really, again, I don't know what the purpose in doing that would be anyway. So we have the ability to put in our city, state, zip information, our phone information. If you want to add an additional phone number, so let's say that I put in a phone number, and it will automatically put your dashes and stuff in there, so you don't have to do all that. You actually tell Lizzie over in the setup screen what format you want to use for the telephone numbers, and it'll automatically do that for you. Whether they have an extension, let's say this is their business number, and now I want to add a mobile number. So I'm just going to hit the plus sign here. It gives me another box. I put in whatever the phone number is for their mobile number, and then I come down and tell it that that's their mobile. And you can continue to do this as many times as you want for that particular customer. Then we can come over here and put in an email address. And again, you can put in additional email addresses the same way as you do with the phone numbers, and save the record. So some of the other information you have up here is websites and date of birth, social security numbers. So that there are other things that you can fill out here, but they're not required. And in fact, technically, the only thing that's really required is that we have either a business name or a first and last name, or any combination of. You don't have to fill out any of this other information, but obviously if you're going to do business with a customer, it would be nice to at least have a phone number. So at that point, you just hit the save button and you're good to go.